After a hearty career in England, Noma Dumezweni is making a name for herself on Broadway as Hermione in the theatrical juggernaut Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Hear the first-time Tony Award nominee talk about the panic and pleasure of keeping the secrets, how her uprooted childhood led her to the stage, and what advice she'd give her 20-year-old self on this week's Show People. Noma, I'm so happy you are here.
Paul,
look
me
at
too.
you. You're a big Broadway star now.
Apparently, since we last met, my world has changed. So I just love it that we're able to do this again because you were in London.
So I met you a year and a half ago at the Palace Theatre.
Yes.
You were in a little play.
A little play that
Harry
no one
Potter
knew how I
and
was
the
going to
Cursed
do.
Child, parts 1 and 2, if you want to be specific. Now you're on Broadway.
Yeah.
Now you're a Tony nominee.
I
Now
know.
you're nominated for like every award in
No, not quite, but it's lovely.
you know,
It's all
a
good.
2-time Olivier winner. A lot's happened. It's all
Thanks,
good,
babe.
and everybody is in love with you.
I will take that and I will reflect the love
Sure.
and say thank you very much.
Do you
It's
feel
fun.
loved? Are you feeling the attention? Are you feeling the love of the piece and people discovering you? And how are you feeling?
Yeah. I think all those things you just said, I'm just going to say, yeah, what I am feeling, I'm loving this adventure that the British Seven have come over to open this show on Broadway with this amazing American company who are all doing amazing English accent. Must stress that because it is a British play and a British story, as we know, and that's one of the joys of it, and their work is phenomenal. The reactions of people to see the show has been, London was great. London was great. This is a different level because you all applaud at everything.
Right.
And it's a joyous thing because it does feel like, I mean, when the magic tricks happen, when the entrances happen, in London it's like, yeah, okay, brilliant, we're going to start and see a play, and then you get taken over. But here you're going, right, come on, you're supposed to be good. And then we start and you go, okay, you are good. Yay!
So it would have been terrible if they didn't agree with
my
that.
God, it would have been awful.
But I knew they would. I mean, this is a very powerful piece of theater. I mean, I'm not a Harry Potter freak.
And you don't have to be.
I
Yes.
enjoy the mythology. I love stories that continue forward like this. It's very exciting to see so many years later.
And to be part of that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the joy of, for me, getting to do the 20 years later, 19 years later.
Yeah.
You go, okay, that's what I can do as a theatre actor. That's what I can bring into this pool to work with these amazing creative people. And then, as you say, it is a theatrical experience. And that's what's joyous about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're still finding things in it.
Yes, thank
You're
goodness.
still, because this is, I'm
Thank
assuming,
goodness.
the longest run
I have
you've ever done. Yeah.
Before Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2, in London, I was a snob about doing shows for over 4 months.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, so as an actor who, looking at your resume, I have not seen a lot of the things you've done, unfortunately.
No worries.
But, you know, I live in
But you
New
will
York.
from now on, Paul. You will from now on.
From now on, are you kidding me? I'm there. But when you seem like an actor who probably really did feed off the adventure of all these different roles and characters and amazing classic plays and new plays, and you're a director yourself, and all these amazing things.
Well,
So I wonder what it's like to then creatively be in something where you're just kind of there, and what has that adjustment been like for you?
So we finished, our company, the first company, finished 21st of May. 2017, and by that point we knew that the 7 of us were going to be coming to Broadway, so that's 7 months of life, living, family, catch up, other jobs, how I'm going to pay my rent, did I pay my bills, and I've had a lovely adventure in that time, and I've only ever experienced it once when you have to come back to a play, and this is 7 months and the other one was 9 months. It was The Winter's Tale for the Royal Shakespeare Company, and I got the privilege of playing Paulina in that production, and we did it here in New York at the Armory, and to come back 9 months later to that piece was the first time I ever went, oh, life happening is a really good thing to happen in between the same show. And that's what's happened for us. So what you also have is that you meet a whole new group of actors who are you going, oh, I can't be complacent about this. I've got to re-listen everything. And that playing again, for me as an actor, that's my joy, is that I do not feel bored. I do not feel bored. I may be tired around the edges. I may be a bit grumpy around the edges when we've been in the theatre all day doing previews, when we're doing previews in tech before we close the show. And the difference, we don't have windows in our theatre down here, whereas we had in the Palace, in the dressing room. So it's a different energy. So it becomes like a bit of a hothouse. And my pride is that as a company, we've held it together in the sense that we're telling a story, but we're playing, we keep playing. And each night I can look at whoever's I'm looking, most likely Paul Thornley, playing my husband Ron, and you know there's a twinkle, what's going to happen. There's Jamie, there's Poppy, there's Alex, and Byron Jennings, who I've discovered is a god of Broadway and theatre.
Icon.
Absolutely, I get that now. Catherine Misley, amazing group of people, and the young ones who are coming through. We've got an extraordinary young actress called Jessie Fisher. I can't say what part she's playing, but you have to come and see it.
She's fantastic, yes.
So fantastic. But the company, and that's what you play with, because that's what you, for me as an actor, that's what I cherish. I don't get bored. Let's see what's going to happen tonight. And we have the frame of the show, but I can look at you like looking at you right now, anything could happen. And that's the most exciting thing for me. But we know the words that we're going to say. I mean, we don't, but we know the words we're going to say. So playing, I always go back to playing. I get to play with these people. And
I guess when you know that you have a nice steady gig, you can sort of maybe go through your life in a different way and sort of
you can
breathe a little bit in your life.
So I can get to like choose nice clothes like
Look
this.
pretty,
And thanks, babes. I had to throw that one in. My gorgeous friend Anatoly is helping me sort this out. So that's a whole new world of thing that's opened up from this particular job, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, from London. The thing about dressing and makeup and meeting people and talking, because that jobbing actor thing, which I've always done, and I still will do, because it's about choices. What's happened with this experience is open up the choices for me, and that's a magnificent place to be. But I'm also, I'm not in my salad days, as it were. I am enjoying getting into my dotage, and I really love that. But the choices now, the sense of making choices is clearer. Whereas the babies I'm watching in the company, I go, chill. It's okay. Don't stress. Don't waste your time stressing. Just enjoy the moment.
Right. So Hermione.
Yes.
This is a name you'll be attached to. They'll follow you around for many a year.
And I'm blessed for that. Thank you.
And you're blessed for it because people love this character.
Yes, they do.
And they're discovering this new Hermione years later. Totally different. You know, she's in a different place in her life. Obviously. She's
a different person.
Yes. People walk in with an expectation. You can't avoid that.
No.
You can't avoid it because people read books and they imagine things, or they see the movies. And Emma Watson, who I know has been lovely to you.
She's a
since you met her.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. So do you still feel that sort of like that when you step on stage and they go, oh, there's Hermione. Oh, there's Hermione. And then sort of like...
Because that never gets old. And I think because there's always a new audience. London was the scariest, the first few previews in London, in terms of my internal fear. Because I know that first 5 minutes is you're going, oh, that's Hermione. The one who's not the one I had in my head at all. And not the one I've seen in the films. But then the play starts, I open my mouth, we speak, and we tell a story. And that was the scary bit then. And then coming to New York, I kind of forgotten that until a couple of people said, oh yeah, it took me a minute to go, oh yes. And then we're in, and I go, oh yes, I've forgotten that that's what was happening, because we're now a company. And that, I hate to use that phrase, Black Hermione, but because I'm a black woman, that's the deal. But I am a woman who looks like this, who gets the chance to play Hermione. And I'm very, very lucky. Yeah, it's joyous, because she's amazing. And my big thing for me is that J.K. Rowling started this story in the form of books. That's where this form came. So all those people reading those stories had their version. And then films do a different thing, because that representation of imagery gives you a solid base. So that's what you start working with, because that's our Hermione now that's been put out into the culture. The theatre form that I'm in, you go, okay, we are open to shifting and changing, because we're now older, the characters have got families, and that's what this play's about, families. Let's see what that does. And there is a sense that you can open up a different way, and it goes back, and there's a kind of full circle thing, because it goes back to the books and the imagination you had there. So I'm very, very proud to be part of that.
One of the big hashtags is keep the secrets, because there are secrets in the play.
Because you have to.
You have to. Are you good at keeping secrets in general? Because I'm thinking back to when you first started doing workshops of this play, way back, and you couldn't tell anyone, correct?
Yes.
And I always wonder this when actors have to sign disclosure agreements, like you won't tell anyone. But I'm like, well, you have to tell, like, you must have told some people. You've got to breathe
somewhere.
Like, did your daughter know?
Well, I have to say, I held on very late. It was my sister who knew quite early on. Okay. Because I trust her implicitly. And I'm going, okay. And then as it was getting closer, I was like, okay, there's going to be to my daughter, there's going to be some news coming out. And she was like, and I went, but we can't tell, you can't share the information with your friends. And she... God bless her, because I think there's a thing about keeping secrets for any child is a really hard thing. Good secrets are brilliant, birthday presents, stuff like that, fabulous. But I've got this thing, if you ever feel it's a bad secret, don't ever keep that as a secret. That's not your burden to bear. But this was a joyous secret. And then we start rehearsing, you go, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have told anybody. I shouldn't have told anybody. We all had a slight panic because you go, there could be someone I trust to do that thing. But it is a pleasure to keep secrets, which are beautiful, and you know there's going to be a surprise in the most joyous way.
Yeah.
And a kind of flabbergastedness from some people about it. So I take pride in keeping secrets. But sometimes, because that was long, holding that secret was long.
Sure. Yeah.
It was lovely knowing in the room that I got it. And then it was a few months before I was like, okay, now I'll tell you that this is coming. Because, yeah, we're working towards making that happen.
Right. Okay, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we're going to talk. We're going to dig back into your childhood a bit. Okay. We're going to take you on a journey, an amazing journey. We'll be right back. We are back with Noma Dumezweni celebrating.
Beautifully done. That was good.
Oh, okay. So the Tony presenters. That's it.
Yeah.
Dumezweni.
Thank you. Thank you.
Easy.
Dumezweni. Exactly. Once
Easy
you know
peasy.
it is.
I want to dig back into your childhood. You have a very interesting story. Your parents were both South African, and you were born in the country of
Swaziland, which has now just changed its name.
Oh, really?
My mum and my sister sent me an
Has a new name.
Yeah. Oh, it has.
We don't even know it
yet.
No,
we don't even know it, but it's got a new name.
Noma Land.
Noma Land. It must be.
Land
no,
of Noma.
It must not be. It must not be that. But I find that very exciting. That's a really interesting thing. But I was born in a place called Swaziland, which I don't know because I was a baby. Okay. My sister was born in Botswana, and then we lived in Kenya and Uganda before me, my mum, and my sister arrived in Britain.
Yeah, and so that was like 41 years ago.
Very long time ago.
Almost to the date, like in May.
Oh my.
Right, like not yet. Don't worry.
You're absolutely.
I would have
You've
told
done
you.
your work.
I did my research.
Thank you, babe. Yes.
And obviously, apartheid was happening,
Yeah.
and your parents. That's why
Had
your
to
mom
leave.
left.
Yeah.
There's a
Both my mum and dad,
fantastic
yeah.
documentary.
Have you seen that?
I did see it. Yeah,
My
called
friend Sarah.
Noma Forgiving Apartheid,
Yeah.
which is a great
Yeah.
title. And it's really about you meeting your dad after many years
very
because
long
you
time.
went back to South Africa to do that play.
A human being died that
Right.
night. Yes,
Right.
which I never thought I'd ever go back to South Africa to do a play. My life is over in Britain, and then this opportunity to rise with this play, written by Nicholas Wright, directed by Jonathan Mumba. We did it at the Hampstead Theatre. Eric Abrahams produces it, and he also runs the Fugard Theatre in Cape Town, and says, why didn't you come and bring it over there? It's a two-hander. And with me, an amazing actor called Matthew Marsh, who I am in awe of. And this moment happens in South Africa where I get to meet my dad and my lovely friend Sarah.
Sarah Townsend.
Yes, thank you, because I've got, because she's an interesting creature, because I've got two names for Sarah, but I'm just going to leave that. Yeah, I love that. Sarah, we'll talk about that later. But she said, I need to find this story and make this story. And I was like, why would you want to do that? Because when one's doing one's own story, you don't see the importance of it. I showed a friend after it had been made, because I was going, oh God, it's icky, it's all about me, I don't quite, bless Sarah for making it happen, I can see it. And he went, it's not about you, it's about your parents.
It really is, yeah.
It's about my parents. And it was just that, take the ego out of the way, for goodness sake, Noma, and look at where your parents have been, or what they've come through, and where you are now. And I'm so grateful that Sarah has managed to capture that. I still find it very hard knowing that there is a documentary that is about me and my life. So I know I'd kind of separate those two things until they meet in these moments, but I never quite bring it up.
And your father sees the play.
Yes.
And my favorite moment is he talks so emotionally about seeing your talents as an actor, and that moment of he actually got to see what you can do, and that you were telling this powerful story, and that it was just, it's really amazing.
And for him, he's got a beautiful family, my half siblings, now younger, me and my sister together here, and we've got 4 siblings in South Africa. And and I remember this growing up with him, it's education, education, and you will go to university. And there's a point when my parents split up, and that's why we end up in Britain, me, my mum and my sister. And I'm not an academic girl. I've never been an academic girl. I'm bright, I know things, I can talk to people. I think my emotional intelligence is higher than
Street
my
smart?
Street smart, I've learnt street smart. You learn it very quickly. It's a different world, because I grew up in a very closed-off space when I came to Britain. Arriving in London, I had to learn the street smarts very quickly. But I pride myself in emotional intelligence and trying to communicate with people. So when I found acting, I went, yeah, this I get, let's play again. that had never been in his ether as a thing, because let's get the education. So for him to see that there is a way of living, that you can be creative and make statements and be part of the world happening, I think for me he'd never seen a play.
Wow.
And that was the first play. As far as I understand, let me get that clear, that's why I understand, but obviously it's the first time he saw me, but he'd never sat in a play.
Amazing.
And that for me was huge.
Not only able to see you, and not only see you in a story about apartheid, but also get to experience theater with your talents.
That was amazing that I was able to bring that to him, that are other ways. Oh, it's a huge one, and we're still in touch, and I'm still talking about what I'm doing and how the family getting on, and it's it's lovely.
So how did that happen to you? So you moved at a very young age to England, grew up in a small town, right?
Yes, Ipswich.
And not the most multicultural place
Not the most multicultural place in the world, and I always go, and I still say it, if I ever write an autobiography, it's called From Africa to Ipswich. I don't know what the equivalent is of here, but it's a very small space.
Okay. You and your sister were 2 of 4?
4 kids of colour in our school, so...
Out of like 1,500.
Out of 1,500. You did your work! You made notes. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from the age of... so that's a secondary school, so I arrived there when I was just before 8 years old. Finishing primary school, going into big school, so that's Ipswich and Felixstowe, big dock town, seaside place. So growing up, I was told a certain story about how the world should be. And I didn't fit into that world. I really didn't fit into that world. But do you know what? I've got my drama thing, and who knows what will happen. I've got my friends here, and I've said it, it's a limitation of what you know, but when you don't know the alternative, that's all you know.
Mm-hmm. And that you got involved in like a school theater or like a program on weekends, or
it was a youth theatre. It was Ipswich Wolsey Theatre.
Yeah, let's give them a shout out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because they're now called the New Wolsey, and I haven't been there since being the New Wolsey. But my oldest friends in life are all from the youth theatre, not from school. I see people from school occasionally via Instagram on the internet, and that's nice. But the close friends I have are from the youth theatre, and that kind of, I don't want to say saved me, but I found my tribe. I found people who were like-minded in the way I was going. There were, I think, maybe 1 or 2 of us of colour out of the whole 4 or 5 years that we were doing it, but there's a different way of thinking. It's like, let's explore. We're all very strange, but we can be all very strange together.
What were you doing? What kind of things?
Oh, we'll do improvisation classes, and we'll do, I keep going, one of my worst auditions was a singing audition, so I remember thinking, no, I'll never do that again. Yeah, one day, do you know what I'm going to treat myself to this year? I've decided I'm going to give myself singing lessons.
Oh.
Just to find out if I can do the beeping thing.
Meaning maybe we will get to see you do a musical someday, depending on how it goes.
Depending on how it goes, in my heart, in my little space, again, as long as I can sing outside of the shower and think I'm okay.
What do you sing in the shower? What's your jam?
Oh, please, it's anything that's going, and just making notes, and just because the sound acoustics are great. And today I'm going to sound like Nina Simone, but no, I can't do the Donna Summer thing. As I told you, I need practice. So yeah, so you learn about yourself in different ways. But you know this, it doesn't stop. Yeah. It doesn't stop, but thank God I found the Wolsey Youth Theatre at that point in time.
Right. Okay, we have to take another break. I don't want to, but we have to.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. We are back with Noma Dumezweni. Now, Dumezweni means something.
It does. I love it that you know it means something. It means to be known in the world.
Right. And Noma means mother?
Yeah, it was Noma Wusher.
That's your full name.
Look at you, Wontorek.
Right, but it means like the mother of that tribe.
Yes, the clan name.
The clan
which I still
name,
don't quite say. My full name is Noma Wusher Tandiwe Dumezweni. So Tandiwe, as in Tanda Newton, I would say this both got the same name, is Tandiwe means to be loved, and Noma Dumezweni means to be known in the world. So the parents were throwing it all there.
So
do you know what I mean?
Nice to walk
I was
out
the first
words
born.
That mean things
if
like
you
that.
don't
My name means nothing. It's just me. Mother of the clan. Are you a mother figure at Harry Potter? Are you naturally sort of a mother?
My archetype is nurturer, is cheerleader is, come on, you can do this. Come on, you're safe. This is your safe place. That is my archetype. I would absolutely say that's true.
And you are a mother.
I am a mother.
Tell me about your daughter.
My beautiful Quiver baby girl. Quiver Luwazi Grant. So we've thrown
What does that name mean?
That's Irish. Quiver's Irish. Grace, gentle beauty. Okay. Luwazi, intelligence, knowledge, education. And Grant is her dad's name. It can be whatever you want. I think he can explain that.
What does she think of the Hermione thing?
She's, Mama, you don't look like the one in the film. I went, I know. Isn't that exciting? She went, yes. She gets it. She gets it. And she's a mixed race child. You don't say that in this country, I realise. There are all these demarcation language. We speak the same language, but the meanings are very different between English and American. Is what I found. So my African American friends, but I'm not African American because although I'm black, I'm from Britain, but I'm British. Do you know what I mean? It's those kind of...
It's confusing.
It's very confusing. So I say mixed race, and then my friend said, oh, no, she's black. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, right, fine. But over there. But no, there's another phrase which maybe I should embrace even more, is dual heritage. And that's another phrase. So it's all these demarcations, and you've got to find out what works for you and what is acceptable as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But I read something interesting. So you've won 2 Olivier Awards now. You're for one for Harry Potter, and the first one was for Raisin in the Sun. You played Ruth Younger.
Yes, I did.
Which is a great role.
Amazing role. And I didn't know that play until I got offered it.
But I read that at the time when you did that role, that was actually unique for you because you weren't crazy about doing plays about the African American experience that were sort of like downtrodden or like negative.
Did I say that? Have I said that?
I remember I read something old with you where you kind of said like that you preferred things that were uplifting. And that were more like positive.
And then I hadn't met that play. And then I met that play and I got what that play was doing.
Fantastic play.
Oh my goodness. So I think there was a part of me, it's like that thing when I was young going, oh no, I'm doing art. I won't do it for money. It's got to be art. I have learnt now, there is a balance. There is a balance.
Right.
We must have a balance because you need to pay your bills. But there are about choices, making choices. And I think at that point, that does ring a bell because I was kind of going, no, I am here as an actor. Yes, I'm black, but why do I always have to be the downtrodden one or the maid or the this or that? What I perceive as not very positive for the culture. That play, Lorraine Hansberry, she's like, for me, she's the equivalent of Arthur Miller if that life had sustained itself. And it's the most perfect piece of domestic storytelling which becomes absolutely universal. I don't care, yes, it is an African-American black family having this experience, but those emotions about family and connection and where the world is and how we see ourselves in the world are the most powerful thing which keep coming back and back and back. And I had Lenny James, yes, he played my husband. Lenny James played my husband. And the amazing Novella Nelson, who became a heart, joy friend, passed away last year. They just want to rediscover it from the ground up. I went, what, those two are coming back? Okay, okay. I want to have the experience of working in their space. And it was the best thing I could have ever done because I didn't know the play, but I absolutely understood the emotions. I absolutely understood working with the powerhouse that Novella Nelson was. And she scared the bejesus out of me the first week I met her. I was making too many excuses about being a very British actor. Do you mind if I do? Just do what you need to do. Yeah, I'm going to do what I need to do. Because you actually need some people like that to kind of go, you're good enough to be you're in the room. Yeah. Stop making excuses. You're in the room. Now do it. You
have a great confidence about you. Is that something that if I met a 20-year-old... Noma, what would I have experienced? And I know you've been a working actor for many years, and you've worked everywhere in London theatre. I have, and I'm really lucky because having not done drama school, that's one of the things I'm proudest of. Yeah. It's been a slog, it's been a 20-year-old Noma didn't know what she was doing. If I could talk to her now, breathe, be still, watch. I remember someone saying to me recently, the rooms where you feel that you have to prove yourself, walk out. Walk out, because you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that anymore. And that was a huge thing to go, yes, so now I'm very aware. If I feel that that young kid is going, no, I go, actually, no, I don't have to. It's good. It's good to be here. I like when you walk in a room.
Ah, thanks,
I've
babe.
seen you walk in many rooms, and there's just a great energy.
Thank you, Paul.
Really,
I
honestly.
do like to make people feel comfortable. It's not the wanting to be liked again, but I know that feeling of not feeling comfortable, of people not making you feel comfortable, and it's bollocks. It's shit. I'm sorry. It's horrible. I don't understand why would you make people feel uncomfortable. Right. So from the person who gives you a cup of coffee, from the person at stage door, from the person who's ushering and cleaning, I can tell you the names of the people in the theatre and all the different departments. So far, I've still got time because I do take pride in that. And so I'm so happy that you've done that homework because you kind of reminded me going, yeah, I've got to give thanks for that journey that my parents took. Right. Absolutely, absolutely. Because that's what I'm sitting here right now talking to you.
What are you going to wear to the Tonys?
Shut up! It's all. That is all that is on my mind. Can I tell you what I'm very excited about? I have to, joking aside, I have been saying this, going, it's about, I want a banging outfit. Okay. But it's not that, I'm going to enjoy doing that. Okay. But to be in the presence of Susan Brown, Deborah Finlay, oh my God, Laurie Metcalf, and Denise Goff. Yeah. I'm already having a party that I'm knowing I'm in that company. I'm already having a party. Any one of them gets it, I am standing up and cheering and hollering because they are phenomenal actors.
God, the five of you should do a show together. That'd be amazing. Let's work on that.
What's the show? What's the show? Put it out there. Come on, put it out there. Proclaim it to the universe. Something. Yes, please. I mean, my joy is in different calibrations. I've worked in a reading with Deborah. I've worked in a show with Susan, and I've worked with Denise. And so to kind of go, oh my goodness.
What's that old play of it's about a bunch of young actresses that just hit New York, like 20-year-old actresses. That one. That'd be fabulous.
What's that one?
That one.
And we're all old and fucking going, yes, been there, done that, sit down. I love getting older. Do you love getting older?
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, no, you're right.
Because you just shed skin. You just shed skin.
I know.
Guys, breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Noma, I don't ever want you to leave, but unfortunately we're out of time.
Oh, we can keep talking. Well, this can close off. We can carry on.
We'll continue it again some other day.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Everyone, go see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2.
And you can. Everyone who's thinking that you can't, you can.
You can get in?
Yeah, you can get in. It just may not be in the time scale that you want, but you can get in.
Okay, work it out. And go see Noma. She's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.